What? Are you doing season 2 of that stupid show?
Honey, where are you going?
Where are you going?
Again? Just where are you going?
Where are you going? You're not going to the bar again, are you?
You like hanging out, drinking beer at the bar, talking sports? Come on out and join us weekly. Guys at the Bar Talking Sports, your podcast for just that. Hanging out, drinking some beer, talking sports. Three things you can do in order to help the guys out. And I know you want to help us out. Number one, join the Facebook group. If you've already joined the Facebook group, go ahead and invite a friend. All you gotta do is type in Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. You'll find the Facebook group there. Second thing you can do is subscribe to the show. And then the third thing you can do is give us a 5-star rating and review on whatever podcatcher you're listening through. You do that, you'll make these guys happy while we drink beer and talk sports. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. This is your Sunday recap of the Saturday Week 5 college football games. And thank you for listening. Go ahead and jump into these. The new top 25 have come out, so I'm going to go ahead and go over with the old top 25, and you'll get an idea of where everyone stands after the week is over with it as well. But starting off, number 25, Clemson, just struggling all season on offense, are able to hold off for 4-0 Boston College Eagles, giving them their first loss. Not good enough, though, to keep them in the top 25, but they did beat Boston College 19-13. Wake Forest, number 24, almost takes a loss to Louisville in a back-and-forth game, which came down to the final seconds. The Demon Deacons win the game 37-34, and Wake Forest is now 5-0 with a road trip to play the Orangemen next week in Syracuse. Wake Forest is now the number 19 team in the nation in the AP Top 25 poll. Number 3, North Carolina State beats Louisiana Tech 34-27, but remains in that 23 spot this week. Number 22, Auburn struggles at first, but was able to pull off the win against LSU 24-19. Auburn has a challenge next week against the powerful Georgia defense, and Georgia's coming off of 2 straight blowout games. Auburn moves into the 18th spot in the AP Top 25 poll. Arizona State handily beats number 20 UCLA 42-23. Arizona State is now 4-1 while UCLA is 3-2. They dropped out of the top 25 while Arizona State moves into the 22nd spot with that win. Number 19 Oklahoma State beats a solid number 21 Baylor team and moves to 5-0 in the Big 12 in their 24-14 win, propelling them to the 12th spot. Number 18 Fresno State falls to Hawaii 27-24, and they are out of the top 25, while number 17 Michigan State struggles in the second half against Western Kentucky. They only scored 6 points, but with 6 touchdowns in the first half, it was plenty to win 48-31, and it moves the Spartans into the number 11 spot. Number 16 Coastal Carolina destroys Louisiana Monroe 59-6 in a statement game where Grayson McCall throws a perfect 13 for 212 yards. They only bumped up 1 spot, though, to the number 15 spot. They're getting no love from any of the people that are doing these rankings, apparently. Number 15, Texas A&M falls to Mississippi State 26-22, and they dropped out of the top 25 with a record of 3-2. Number 14, Michigan, went on the road to Wisconsin and beats the Badgers 38-17, bringing their record to 5-0. They're heading to Nebraska next week, though, and Scott Frost better be ready for that confident Michigan team. He did put up a lot of points against his competitor this week as well, so you got a very confident Nebraska team, I think, as well, but Michigan moves into the number 9 spot with that win over Wisconsin. The Badgers obviously are having a challenging year this season, while Michigan having a 5-0 record is a great start to their season after having multiple bad years in a row. Also on Friday night, you had BYU, who is number 13, beat Utah State 34-20. The Cougars are now 5-0 and will be hosting Boise State next week. BYU jumps to the number 10 spot in the AP Top 25 poll. Number 11, Ohio State, still feels that chip on their shoulder after losing to Oregon. They beat the pants off of Rutgers this week, 52-13, which moves them into the top 10 at number 7 now. Number 10, Florida. They have a top rushing offense, but they weren't able to get any traction against the Kentucky defense in their 20-13 loss. Kentucky goes 5-0 for the season while the Gators fall to 3-2. Florida is now the number 20 team in the nation while the Wildcats debut at number 16 in the top 25. They'll be playing LSU next week while the Gators will be playing Vanderbilt. Group of 6 team number 7 Cincinnati made a solid argument this week to be in the top 4 with their win over number 9 Notre Dame 24-13. Notre Dame was just never able to get any traction in this game. They were shut out in the first half pretty much, and this was a good solid win for the Bearcats who were trying to make a statement to get looked up as a top team in college football. Cincinnati moves to the number 5 spot in this week's poll though, while Notre Dame drops to number 14. Oklahoma Sooners remain in the number 6 position as they struggle to defeat Kansas State, who seemed like they were going to come back after the Sooners, but the Sooners end up winning this game 37-31. In a game that many doubters thought would end up in an upset, number 5 Iowa Hawkeyes, show they are dominant, putting up 51 points to Maryland's 14 on Friday, moving them into this week's number 3 spot. That is a great spot for them to be in, I'm sure, especially with the way that this conference is going. The West is not looking that good for the Big Ten. Number 4, Penn State dominates Indiana 24-0, but that's not good enough to take the number 3 spot in this week's polls from Iowa. But that was a good revenge after last year's loss to Indiana. Number 3, Oregon falls to number 8 with a huge upset by Stanford, who has now picked off 2 top 25 teams this season, by the way. Oregon failed in the fourth quarter to stop Stanford, who tied the game, and then the score in overtime, Stanford was able to score 1 touchdown, holding off the Ducks from scoring a touchdown, so the Ducks lose 31-24. In one of the biggest games of the week, number 2 Georgia Bulldogs, Stetson Bennett takes full advantage of his chance to start against the number 8 Arkansas Razorbacks with JT Daniels out for that week. We knew the Georgia defense would be tough, but they shut down the Arkansas offense with a win of 37-0. Absolutely insane. That is a statement game for that Georgia defense, but also a statement game for that Georgia offense to put up 37 points under Stetson Bennett. Georgia plays Auburn next week, and now number 13, Arkansas, will be playing Ole Miss. Number 1, Alabama, in a much-anticipated game, hosts number 12, Ole Miss, and dominates them the entire game, holding Matt Corral's offense to 291 yards, nearly half the total yards that they were held to last season. Last season, I believe Matt Corral's offense had over 600 yards against Alabama. Alabama throws for 451 yards. Bryce Young had 241 yards through the air with a final score 42-21. Ole Miss now drops down to number 17. Thanks for listening to the guys at the Bar Talking Sports. This is your weekly Week 5 update for college football, and come on back on Tuesday morning as well. You'll be able to hear the NFL week update as well. So I do that, and then on Thursdays, you can go ahead and tune in as well for the show that we do live at MJ's Bar and Grill. And if you want to check that out, just go ahead and subscribe to the show, and then come on back every week, 3 times a week, for more Guys at the Bar Talking Sports. It's your boy, Hanger, looking for a beer. Actually, we're all looking for a beer, so if you want to buy the guys a beer, at Guys at the Bar Talking Sports on Venmo. That's it. Easy as drinking a beer.